Is suspended, unavailable for selection for the rest of the season. Isaac Heeney, Chad Warner, Nick Blakey, Riley Bice and James Jordan. The club revealing there that they were drinking in a hotel room in Melbourne and women had been invited back to that hotel room. And the club chairman there, Andrew Pridham, who's been in the role for nearly 12 years now, apologising to the community, to fans, to the club's corporate partners, and the CEO, Matthew Pavlich, saying that the club is deeply embarrassed and ashamed of the poor choices that were made by the players and deeply concerned for the women involved. Let's go back to Chief Reporter Chris Reason, who was at that press conference asking plenty of those questions. Chris, the club has just apologised over the allegations. What did you make of what the CEO and the chair had to say there?
Look, they've taken a very serious approach to this, clearly, Hugh, and decided to take that definitive action of not just standing down these 5 players, but effectively destroying their chances of getting anywhere in the final season, certainly anywhere near the grand final. Although, as they said towards the end, the CEO told us he was always a glass half full guy and was hoping that that would, eventuate. But I think everybody knows there's no chance of that at all. But to the bigger issue here, and what all of many of our viewers will be asking is, is this about the game, the finals, all of the rest of it? A lot of people concerned about the culture and what they are saying and doing about women's issues and women's respect within this club culture, and particularly the women who were at the centre of this alleged sexual assault. Now, they've made a lot of statements today about how they're going to focus on that, fix that, work with their club, continuing into the future on that. Interestingly, they said that they would not be pushing those 5 players away. They were embracing them, looking after them, worried about their welfare. They went on to talk about the welfare of their extended families, their partners, the players concerned. You can imagine the fracture now within this team between the 5 players and those the rest of the squad who've now had these finals chances ripped from beneath them. As you saw maybe from half an hour ago when the players came out for their training session here, we got to ask a couple of them how they were feeling. None of them would comment, but they all looked so severely concerned by this. Obviously, there will be some harbouring deep anger, resentment, frustration. I asked the question, would that team ever be able to play again? They didn't quite answer it, but it's a serious issue. This is really would derail this club's unity.
Yeah, and Chris, the officials there conceding that despite the fact they won't be able to play or be available to play, they will be able to use the team's facilities. So those players who will be eligible for selection will seemingly come into contact with these 5 players when they're in the gym or seeing staff around the club headquarters there at Moore Park. Isaac Heeney, the eldest of the 5 players, he's 30 years old. Warner is 25, Blakey's 26, Bice and Jordan are both 25 as well. Chris, the club is acting here while there is a police investigation still going. None of these players have been charged, and it seemed to me from Matthew Pavlich talking there, they haven't been formally interviewed by investigators either.
No, and that was interesting that you said that, because the word out of Melbourne yesterday was that one had been, that was Isaac Heeney, and that the others had offered to themselves up to the police, but that offer had not been accepted. But as you heard from Pavlich this afternoon, he said no, they haven't been formally interviewed. Now, there's some semantics going on here. A formal interview, as you know, with the police is sitting down in a room with a tape and a video going, and a series of questions that will last over hours and hours potentially. An informal interview is just a statement taken at the scene, taking notes as the initial officers get there and trying to work out what happened. So maybe there's some confusion there from the CEO's part on what that actually means.
OK, Chris Reason, thank you for that. We'll keep across your reports throughout the day. Plenty more coverage coming up on 7 News over the coming days. Thank you at Moore Park there, Chris Reason in